Thanks a Lot Universe by Chad Lucas, Chapter 35, Throat Puncher Sadness, Ryan. Monday was the Mondayest Monday in the history of Mondays. Last week of school before summer vacation. My suspension was over, so I had to go back to class. I figured Victor wouldn't mess with me, but I still expected whispers and people hoping for a scene. In a few hours, Dad was making his first court appearance. I half wanted to go, but Mr. Beals said it would be a lot of waiting for a plea that would barely take a minute. Mrs. Cleland gently suggested it might not be good for me. Maybe she was right. After school, I was going home, to my house, with Mom. This was the first day of Life Part 2. I didn't feel ready. I wasn't sure Mom was ready. She seemed really healthy on Saturday, but I didn't think I'd ever be able to wipe the morning of my birthday from my mind. Would changing her meds help? How would she cope without Dad? What would happen next time she had a bad day? The thing about surviving the end of the world is you still have to crawl out of the rubble and learn how to rebuild. I pulled up the covers in the yellow bedroom. I had slept on my own without nightmares or panic attacks. That was accomplishment enough for day one. 10 minutes after I should have been eating breakfast, Gabe barged in. Getting up anytime soon? I burrowed in the bed. No, actually. He flopped beside me. Not feeling today, huh? I shook my head. You want to wallow here being all mopey and whatnot? I shrugged. I get it, Gabe said, but sometimes wallowing is unacceptable. Sometimes you need to punch your sadness in the throat. Is that your official life advice? Punch sadness in the throat? Yes, I'm going to write a book for guys like us. You're the words, guys. You can help me. I'm going to call it When Life Serves You a Turd Sandwich. Don't laugh. I'm serious. I didn't want to laugh, but I couldn't help smiling. All the chapters will have super intense titles, Gabe continued. Throat punch your sadness. Choke slam your anger. Kick your anxiety in the junk, I added. That's the spirit. He reached across my chest. Nipple twist your fears. Ow! I shoved him away. All right, already. I'll get up if you leave me alone. See, my advice works. Sometimes you have to pretend you're in a cage match with your feelings. He stood up. We're going camping this summer. You, me, Richie, and Ezra if he wants to come. It'll be a perfect 10 on a scale of awesomeness. This is a Gabe Cleland guarantee. I rubbed my sore nipple. Saturday was a perfect 10. Yesterday hurt like hell. Gabe nodded. That's how it goes sometimes, but the hurts like hell days reminds you how sweet the perfect 10s can be. You and me, we are alive, and it's our job to live big while we can. You and I. What? You and I are alive, not you and me. Grammar. You're the biggest nerd, you know that? No wonder Mom loves you. Get up already. He gave me a playful shove and ran out of the room. I sat up. I could do this, maybe. When Mrs. Cleland stopped to drop Richie off at school, I put an arm around him and told him I loved him. He looked at me sideways like I'd said I was joining an expedition to Mars. He poked my ribs. Have a good day, Bri, he said, which meant I love you too. Mrs. Cleland let me out at Ezra's. He was waiting outside alone. He walked to the curb slowly with his arms folded across his belly. Hey, he said. Hey, I said. How was your weekend? Ezra adjusted his glasses. I told the guys I'm gay, so that was interesting. Oh, I took a step closer to him. I hope it went okay? Ezra nodded. Kevin and Ty have been great. Colby was not terrible. Not great, but it could have been worse, I guess. He stared at his shoes. I didn't know what to say, so I put a hand on his shoulder. Thanks, he said quietly. But what about you? How'd it go with your dad? It was a lot. Mostly good. Ezra gave me his look that meant, you can tell me I'm here for you. I know that look now. I liked it. I told him about the beach and Dad going to jail. That must have been hard, he said. Yeah, I swallowed. I'm going to miss him a lot, and I'm scared of what comes next. Ezra inched closer. Would it be weird if I hugged you? I'd like that, I said. You're not weird, Ezra. Well, you're a little weird, I grinned. But I'm a super awkward weirdo, so we make a good team. His eyes lit up. He put on a serious face and stuck out his hand. Indeed, let us form an alliance of weirdos. I concur. We shook hands, and he pulled me into a hug, both of us laughing. I want Brian, Ty declared on the basketball court at lunch. He's not a ball hog like y'all here. Andre tucked the ball under his arm and scoffed. Look who's talking. Exactly, B knows how to keep me fed. Ty held up a fist in my direction. After an awkward beat, he laughed. You going to leave me hanging? Right, sorry. My face reddened as I bumped his knuckles. He nodded. Let's do this, B. You, me, and Ezra. Sizzle Squad represent. We were a squad now? I couldn't help smiling. We played to 15 with regular baskets worth 1 point and shots behind the 3-point line worth 2. The great thing about basketball is nothing else matters on the court. No one thought about how Ty's father was an accountant and Ezra's was an orthodontist and mine was going to jail. Basketball was basketball. I didn't have to say more than 2 words at a time. Ty and Andre tossed friendly trash talk back and forth. I didn't think about Mom coming home or how weird it would be to visit Dad. I just played. I set Ty up for a couple baskets, earning another fist bump. After a while, Jaden assumed I was going to pass and slacked off me, so I shot. Swish. Next time I had the ball, he rushed out. I faked, took one sideways dribble as he flew past me and shot again. Thanks, swish. Sizzle sauce, baby, Ezra yelled. Man, guard him, Andre grumbled at Jaden. Lunch was almost over, and we were tied at 13 when Ezra collected a loose ball and passed to me behind the arc. Jaden scrambled to cover, but I didn't hesitate. I shot my shot. As soon as it left my hand, I knew it was good. Sometimes you know. In a second, the ball would drop through the net with a crisp snap of mesh, and we would win 15-13. Ty would whoop and slap me on the back. Ezra would give me a high five. We'd head back to class, sweaty and satisfied. After school, I'd walk to my own house, where Mom and Richie and Hank would be waiting. The Clellans said they'd bring dinner. In the evening, when I was alone in my room, I'd put on Ezra's playlist, and I'd text or call him if I wanted to talk. But all of that was in the future. For now, the universe paused as the ball flew from my hand, spinning on a smooth arc, a planet in perfect orbit. I watched it fall.